Why do I keep saying cookie like that? Cookie? Question mark? Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my kitchen. I'm so glad you decided to join me today. If you're new here, welcome. We're so happy you decided to join us. In today's episode, we're making a classic gingerbread man. This recipe is awesome because it's super versatile. You can either make these cookies thin and crisp if you want. You can make them thick and chewy. You can decorate them any way you want to, by yourself, with your kids, with your grandkids, with your nieces and nephews, whoever you want to decorate them with. It'll be so fun for around the holidays. These cookies are so yummy. All right guys, let's get started. To make the cookie part of this recipe, it's pretty easy. We're just gonna need some butter, an egg, some molasses, some white vinegar, our spices. This is cinnamon, ginger, and cloves, our baking soda, some salt, some sugar, and some flour. The first thing we're gonna do is add our butter into our bowl. We're just gonna start creaming that as usual. I'm gonna scrape down the sides of my bowl really quickly. I'm gonna put the mixer back on now, and we're gonna slowly start adding our sugar. We're gonna beat that until it's nice and fluffy, about 5 minutes. Once that's pretty fluffy, it's so fluffy! We're gonna add in our molasses, our white vinegar, and our egg. So I'm gonna start by adding the molasses. And we'll just mix after each addition. Now we'll add our vinegar. And lastly, we'll add our egg. Don't worry if your dough starts to look a little bit broken. That's just the acidity of the vinegar. It's all gonna come together once we add our dry ingredients. So we're just gonna add our egg. Once the egg has incorporated into that batter, we're just gonna push that aside and we're gonna work on our dry ingredients. What we're gonna do is just combine our dry ingredients and then we're gonna add them to the bowl. So we're just going to take our flour, add in our spices, our salt, and our baking soda. And then we'll just take a whisk and we'll just combine these.
I'm just gonna give them one quick whisk here.
And we're just going to dump all of that dry ingredient in there. And end up with it on our counter because that's just the way I am. We're gonna start this off slow. Once that dough starts to move away from the sides of our bowl, we're almost done. However, this dough can be a little bit sticky when you first incorporate it, so I like to add an extra tablespoon or two of flour. I would just add one at a time, mix that up, and then see how that looks to you. You want it to not stick to your fingers. Once we've got our dough all set, now comes the easy part. We're gonna take some saran wrap, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna break this dough in half the best we can. Don't worry about it too much. We're gonna pop these into the fridge for a minimum of 30 minutes and a maximum of 2 days. So you can make this dough ahead of time and then roll them out and cut them later. It's been about an hour, so I decided to take out this dough and we're gonna start working with it. So I only took out one half at a time so that the other half can stay chilled.
You must chill! You must chill!
Before I take it off the plastic wrap, I'm going to flour my surface. I've got our dough. I'm gonna throw a little bit of flour over the top of that dough. So I'm gonna roll this to about a ½ inch for soft, chewy cookies, which is what I prefer. If you like a crisper cookie, you could roll this out to a 1/4 inch and then you'll bake it for a minute extra or two. But we're gonna roll this out to about a ½ inch. And then I've got 3 different size gingerbread cutters here. So I'm going to take my largest gingerbread man, just press it down into the dough. I have a prepared pan here. It's just got a silpat mat on it. You could also use parchment paper. So I'm just going to pop him out. And then one trick that I like to use is to take a pastry brush and just brush off some of that extra flour. All right, and then he's gonna go in the pan. They are very thick, so don't be concerned if yours are really thick. Okay, so once we've got these on the pan, we're gonna pop them into a 350-degree oven for about 12 to 13 minutes. They will puff up slightly, and then as they cool, they'll settle back down. And you wanna make sure you have a little bit of room for them to grow because they don't expand, but they do kind of puff up and they'll run into each other. So 350 degrees for 12 to 13 minutes. And the final step of this gingerbread process is to decorate our cookies. So I wanted to show you two different ways to do this. One would be the traditional piping way to do a gingerbread man. The other way to do it would be to just simply frost the cookie and then add some edible glitter or some sprinkles or whatever makes your heart happy. Also, I wanted to say, don't worry if your cookie is a little bit crackly. If you ever look at a ginger snap, they're crackly. That's what happens with gingerbread. I made up some royal icing while I was waiting for the cookies to cool. I'm not gonna show it in this video just for the sake of time, but I will leave the recipe down below so that you guys can make it as well. So I'm just mixing it just slightly just to break up any air bubbles, and I'm gonna use a little mini spatula. I'm just gonna slop some on there. And then I'm just brushing outwards towards the edge of the star here. And then before the icing dries, we're going to just add, these are little sparkling gold sprinkles, and we'll just throw some on there. And there's the star. So now we're gonna move on to doing more of a piping technique. I made up a bunch of colors here and I've just put them into piping bags, and we're just going to play around with these. So I've decided to do one of each size. So I think the first thing I'm gonna do is I'll just add some eyes. And I'm gonna add a little smile here. Actually, I'll do it in this red color. So now is when we can have fun with our gingerbread. We could very easily just put some gumdrop buttons here.
Oh, not the buttons! Not my gumdrop buttons!
So I had an idea that I'll add a bow tie to, I'll maybe add it to this guy because he'll be a little bit more visible. Do some fun buttons. So I'm going to use this purple with this little rosette tip in it. And then maybe we'll add like some stitching here. Move on to this little guy. Let's do some yellow buttons on this guy. Okay, so I went a little bit crazy on decorating them after I showed you guys the simple way to decorate them, but I had a lot of fun doing it. And I also found a couple of different sprinkles that I had just in my cabinets that I added into them. So seriously, just make them your own. But I think it's time that we try one. So I'm gonna try one of the star ones just because these other ones are just too cute. But royal icing will set up as it sits out and it will get stiff. I prefer to eat them soft. It's just so much more, I don't know, of an experience. We'll say it that way. I just prefer them soft, but look, I'll show you guys how soft these are. Again, you can totally make them crispy if that's the way that you like them. I just want to show you, like, look, they just break apart. There's no snap, they just break apart. And that's it, guys. You have your gingerbread man cookie recipe. I hope you enjoy this recipe. If you make these, please tag me on Instagram. I would really love to see what you do with them. They're really cute. Like this little guy over here he just like looks like he's like an aviator, like he's gonna go fly an airplane somewhere. It wasn't my intention, but he's super cute. So if you make them, I really want to see them. They're super cute and everybody makes them look different, which is so fun. But yeah, if you guys like this video, please leave a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of my future recipes. And as always, I will see you guys later. Bye! Welcome back to my channel. I keep saying channel, I don't want to say channel. In today's episode, we're making a... In today's episode, we're making a... Oh my Jesus Christ.
Why does my eyelash feel like it's coming off? It's not, but holy jeebos, my eyes are starting to get irritated.
I love you like a love song, baby. I got itchies in my eyeball, baby. Alright, now we'll do the second half. Maybe. Hello? What the f is that noise, fridge? The other way to do it would just be, oh my god.